I would like to begin this presentation with a quote. In the 21st century, what does it look like to be graceful? What does it look like to be proud, noble? How do you look? A young black man, in American society, is a very important question, especially at this moment in our culture. Kehinde Wiley, 2015. Through my investigation, I found that Wiley intended to answer this exact question in an exhibition he did called Down. Down was an exhibition meant to reframe the context of what it meant to be a black man in America. As you can see in this image, it depicts a man of color posed in a way reminiscent of a pinup, or perhaps a more traditionally feminine way. At least that's what you gather at a first glance. This framework, or motif, continues with the next piece, however with a twist. The man is clutching his heart, and the bright color palette seems to be calming you. It's telling you that everything's okay, but something is clearly wrong here. The motif continues, however, with a more sinister palette. This figure is deliberately posed in a feminine way, giving a slight nod to the sexualization and vulnerability that women have long faced throughout art history. This gives a new context to what it means to be a black man, with traditional depictions depicting them as more brutish or domineering, whereas this exposes the man as vulnerable with his backside facing us. While the bright color palette returns in this piece, it starts to reflect something is going very wrong. Again, the grasp at the heart reappears. The leg is bandaged, and white clothes are hinting at something a little bit more divine. Even the title, Down with Bullet, hints at something is more at hand here. And with this piece, Wiley's overarching message starts appearing more prevalently. Black men are dying. The ominous scenery, mixed with the skulls on the ground, creates a feeling of isolation and abandonment by the system. This piece is called Sleep, and this was the piece that initially drew me to Wiley's work in the first place. With my Roman Catholic background, I immediately picked up on the religious symbolism in this pose. The pose references the deposition of Christ and can be compared to depictions of Jesus being lowered into the arms of his mother following the Passion. In these upcoming photos, I will be showcasing Wiley's inspiration taken from these religious depictions and elaborating on what they mean in the context of Wiley's message. The first one is called The Lamentation over the Dead Christ. This piece is simply conveying the immense loss that the black community faces each time a man dies. Wiley draws inspiration from the 1480 piece by the same name to immediately draw parallels to the loss of an innocent in a community. This next piece is from 1520 and was painted by Hans Holbein. It depicts Jesus Christ in a tightly encased tomb. Wiley drew inspiration from Holbein's piece to convey the brutal, honest message that black men are being killed at a disproportionate rate. They have been forced into the tomb, or rather a societal box of being perceived as more dangerous. This directly contrasts the image Wiley would like to give black men, one that is more peaceful and vulnerable. His rendition here almost seems like a lamb on a sacrificial altar. This next piece is called The Veiled Christ, another depiction of Christ laid in the tomb. Wiley's piece of the same name has the benefit of adding transparency to the veil, offering a number of different meanings. The veil seemingly whitewashes the figure underneath it, symbolizing the suffocation of the societal expectations placed on black men, and how they can often feel trapped or forced into the role, with little escape. To me, this piece fully cements the martyrdom of black men in today's culture. To end this presentation, I'd like to showcase another one of Wiley's pieces, his famous Obama portrait from 2017. Going back to the quote, in the 21st century, what does it look like to be proud, noble? I feel like this piece conveys how far we are coming as a culture. While racism is still a massive issue, it is slowly getting better, and while it may take time to heal, there is an end in sight.